Israel versus Russia, question mark on there. Let me start off by first saying that these wars are scripted. There's just no other way to put it but that they're scripted. The nations, whether it be Putin, whether it be Israel's Bennett, whether it be Abbas of Syria or Raisi of Iran, Xi Jinping of China, they're all controlled operatives. These leaders are carrying out the elite's agenda for a one world global order. But there is just breaking out in news today. I was already aware of this, and so we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about it now. Russia has begun to intervene on behalf of Syria. You're going to see more and more of this as the next year or so goes on, because they're working to create a global war before their little friends from, well, the other side of time, maybe we'll say it like that, before they get here. Israel is going to be the one, I think, that between Israel and the Vatican together, they're going to be the two that are going to introduce their new Messiah figure that's coming from another planet, so to speak. And but before they do that, they need a global war. They've got to have an excuse for peace. They've got to have an excuse for all that. And so everything's being scripted right now. So the time is coming for Russia to step up and begin to defend Syria against Israel, to defend the Iranians that are inside of Syria. And by the way, I just looked at a map of where the placement of Iranian troops are. And it is a massive number of troops of Iranian-backed militia fighters that are near the Golan of Israel. And but don't kid yourself. Bennett knows all this. He's fully aware of that. It's one of the reasons why they're going to nuke Damascus. They believe this is all biblical, fulfilling biblical prophecy, but they don't. None of them have enough brains to realize that God condemns both Israel and the Christians for allowing Damascus to be leveled in the exact same chapter of Isaiah 17. So although they see that Damascus becomes a ruinous heap, they're not paying attention to God's displeasure for this happening in the first place. But nonetheless, the script is being played out. As I told you before, Putin is not going to be in 2024. The new regime is already in place. They're already taking their positions. They're already arming Iran. Iran is going to make a strike against Israel by 2024. Sure, the date could be moved up. I know that's always possible, but as everything I've been told up till now, 2024 will be the year that they strike, but not at the beginning of 2024. But you're going to see steadily increased skirmishes. You're going to see more and more Russia, Israel becoming at each other's throats on this. Why? Because all the biblical prophets out there are saying that Russia's got to be the king of the north to attack Israel. It's not what the case is, but nonetheless, in order to make it look good for everybody and to get all the Christians all fuzzy inside to accept that, oh wow, the big bad boogeyman Russia is going to attack. Yeah, they're going to make sure it happens that way. So, you know, it is what it is. What are you going to do? You can't do anything about that. It's going to happen exactly that way. China, Russia, and Iran are all working together, in concert together. The technology China gave to Iran was the cloaking technology that allows them to use their missiles where they basically disappear in flight and reappear just before hitting their target. That's what happened to our troops in Iraq. That's what happened to the Saudis in their oil fields, why we couldn't take them out with the Patriot, or why Israel couldn't take them out with the David Sling or the Patriot batteries. Because why? And that was when Israel got hit over there near Dimona. If you remember, Brother Gary, a good friend of mine, came on and talked about the vision that he had years and years ago, seeing that there would be an attack by the Iranians on Dimona. All these things are going to happen. And in fact, I was told that Iran is supposed to be stepping up their abilities on this technology because they're a big part of the plan of attacking Israel, because they want it to look like it's fitting a biblical narrative. And worst of all, though, is that Israel is going to introduce, along with the Vatican, is going to introduce to you an alien guy that's supposed to be the Messiah. They're going to claim that he's the one that sent Jesus. Go figure that one, right? And this is why I say, when you watch who does disclosures, see how much they still back the state of Israel. You know, and listen, I love the Jewish people because I'm from a Jewish bloodline on both parents, right? But it doesn't change the fact that it's not Jews controlling this nation. It's not the Israelis controlling Israel. It's Rothschild, reptilians. It is the elite class that have sold out and had all their brothers murdered in the Holocaust, etc. That's who controls the nation. So we got to wake up to what's really going on. And that's why we're doing the Disclosure Project over there on Patreon. And the Patreon is not critical information. It's important information, but it's not critical information. It's just so you can learn about things that the government knows about and has done that has never been told to you. I think that's also where I talked. Well, no, actually, I talked about this incoming asteroid, and I should get an update tomorrow. I know that, like I said, I know that they're trying to do something to prevent that. That's one reason why they don't never announce it to the general public. So do keep that in mind. This incoming asteroid that's supposed to hit the Pacific. And as far as I know, it's this year. It is, they're working to try to deflect it or break it apart. And by the way, I'm getting a lot of videos sent to me by you guys out there. You're sending me fairly good size meteorites coming in, causing sonic booms, shaking houses, things like that. If you remember back in March, I think it was, I was telling you that closer to August, September, we would see another wave of those type of asteroids. No planet killers, nothing like that. Just another wave there of those type of rocks coming in. So anyway, just wanted to update you, let you know these things, what's going on, things like that. Also, too, if you'll notice, I thought it was interesting. Somebody had posted a video on Marfugel, or they had sent a video they were sending to Marfugel on his broadcast there, and they were showing these military convoys. A lot of different military vehicles on the train, but a lot of them had the Red Cross symbols on those vehicles. It made me wonder, now I'm just wondering, if they're not anticipating something catastrophic happening out west, because all of that stuff looked to support medevacs, medical convoys, generators, things of that nature there. Nothing on there seemed to be for a military nothing like for invasion, things like that. It all seemed to be for something catastrophic coming. And that was in Colorado. Could that have something to do with what we're looking at? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, let's hope for the best. So let's hope, I mean, we do have, like I said, we have the technology to break these things up, and they may very well be successful. I was told that 3 have been broken apart already. Just this past year, that were doomed to hit the earth. So they're trying, and that's what we need to hope for, is that they can actually do that. Anyway, God bless you all. Thank you for listening. Stephen Ben-Nun with Israeli News Live.